Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Before we go any further, I just want to say I am in Greece right now. I'm on my trip. I brought a microphone with me. I thought it was going to be a good microphone. It is not a good microphone. It's not nearly the quality of the one I have hooked up to my computer at home. So I'm gonna try and find a mic out here that will be working better for this situation for the time being, because I'm gonna be out here for 2 weeks, and I rather keep making my uploads. I haven't really missed uploads over the past, like, talking like 3 to 4 years, so I don't really want to do that. But just bear with me. I'm gonna do my best to find a mic out here, so we can, bring it back to the quality that we're all used to. Okay, guys, we had a very exciting week going on here. Okay, so we crazy ups and downs in the markets, but as we can see, we did close out with a bullish weekly candlestick pretty much across the board. I am anticipating higher prices next week. We're going to go over in this video the indices: SPY, QQQ, VIX, IWM, DIA. We're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks, and then I have some trade ideas going into next week for you. All right. And again, sorry about the quality of the microphone. Bear with me. I tried making it as loud as possible here, but I do know it's going to be a little quieter than what we're used to. Okay. So just bear with me for the time being. All right. Let's get into it, guys. So first things first, we did get this, bullish weekly close over here on SPY and QQQ. That should definitely be noted over here. All right, so we're just going to go over the levels we're going to be watching over here on the upside for SPY. On the upside, we're watching 683. That was Friday's high. Above there, we have 602.48. And then above there, we have nothing until 608.13 and then 613.23. Yeah, 613.23 above there. On the downside, we're going to be watching 599. Underneath 599, we're going to just watch 595.54. That was, your little breakout level over here, guys. You had a little breakout over here off of 593.20. Hit it with the break and retest. That's really where I wanted to see buyers hold. We got a little underneath it. They did end up bouncing it right over there, and we can see how that really turned out. All right, you lost the 4-hour 21 EMA. That's why it was going to be our line in the sand over there for buyers. All right, under there, we risk coming all the way back down to 589.08, and then if that wasn't to hold, 583.24. We did not end up getting that. We did end up catching a bit over here, and we pushed right back up to not all-time highs. We pushed right back up to highs over here. I do think we have all-time highs probably incoming. I'm not going to say next week, but I definitely do think we have a look across the board that is telling us to anticipate higher prices. Okay, so slipped up there. No all-time highs coming this week. Not really probable, but I am going to say I do think we continue pushing higher. Now we can see sellers are, stepping in, guys. We've just had this slow, steady grind ever since we had this impulsive move up over here, and I'm just saying supply is steadily being eaten over here. The daily RSI has not even gotten into overbought territory. Normally, when we push on up here, we do end up seeing that thing eventually get into overbought territory, and that's when, eventually we are going to have those larger pullbacks come. The market has recovered like 90% of its decline over here. It's very unlikely that we are going to be revisiting these lows. Extremely unlikely. There are still people out there who think we are going to be revisiting the lows, and I'm telling you right now, if the president and Elon Musk just had a falling out and one is accusing the other of just terrible things and the other is also just like being complete, honestly terrible human being to the person who is going to be, pretty much got him into the office, completely flipping on a dime like that. Yeah, if that's not going to freak out the market, I don't really know what is. Okay, obviously it was a mini, temper tantrum the market had over that, and the next day we popped right back up. So I am not, I'm not anticipating we're going to get all that big of a sell here. Maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't, but I'm just telling you the signs that I'm seeing. And guys, the market just wants to keep buying these dips. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Supply in this area has just been steadily getting eaten. We could see how you closed here on the weekly time frame. It's not a bearish candlestick. You closed above the range over here. This is a 3-week range we're in. We just broke above it. The range itself is $16. Okay, so once we break out from that, we are going to be looking for an equivalent move. Guys, that almost takes you up to all-time highs. You're going to be $2 off of all-time highs if we get that measured move for that range breakout. I'm not saying it comes right away, but I am, pointing in that direction here. Okay, so Upside levels, guys, let's just sum this up real quick. Above 683, we have 602.48, 608.13, and 613.23. You could see my levels over here. If you're someone who cannot find levels on your chart to give you accurate reactions in real time, steal my levels. All right, I'm begging you, just steal the levels. They're here for the taking. I give completely free information here, Monday through Thursday, and then we have a weekly update like we're doing today on the weekend. Normally, I'm in Greece right now. Normally, I'm not in Greece. I'm in the U.S. and we have this consistent upload schedule. All right, and I'm just gonna say there's not another channel that does do it like we do it here on YouTube. Okay, we give the people what they want for absolutely no cost to them. You have everything you need to make money in this market consistently on a weekly, on a daily basis, just from these videos. It's not behind a paywall. It's here. All you have to do is hit subscribe and you have to turn on the notification bell so you get notified when we put out these videos, especially right now, just because you know, my time schedule over here, it's definitely a little skewed. I think I'm 7 hours ahead of you guys. It is currently over here. What is it? It's about 12 o'clock. All right. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 or 4 in the morning over there for you guys. Maybe it's like 5 in the morning. I think I'm like 7 or 8 hours ahead over here. Um, but that will be returning to normal in on 6:20. I will be back. Okay. But for the time being, I'm over here. So I'll turn the notification bell on just so you can get notified when we put that out. Normally, we will have a video out past 4 p.m., past 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the market close. It's still going to be the case over here. I just can't guarantee what time that's exactly going to come out because, yeah, it's just a different time zone. Okay. But that's on the upside for SPY. On the downside, we got 599. Underneath there, we have 595.54, which is where we just broke out from. I'm just going to make that our new, blue level there that we're really going to be paying attention to. If you see these blue levels on my chart, there's just going to be key levels we're watching for breaks or holds off of. All right, and that would be the next break and retest level right there. 595.54 cannot hold. We're talking 593.20, 591.05, and the 589.08. But again, we just broke out from this 3-week range here. We are likely going to continue higher. You also had increasing volume behind that, which means it's probably not a fake out move. You come over here to QQQ, and what do we got cooking over there? Okay, first things first, guys. Very clear supply. All right, like supply over here, you broke above it. Now we already knew you were probably just gonna, you had a solid chance of just slicing right through like butter. Why? Because you already did get over it over there. I know you did end up seeing, yeah, seller slam price down over there, but again, it got bought up. We revisited. Normally, when we see that, guys, it's just supply being in. Okay, you had sell orders sitting over here. The fact that we revisited over here, and then we're just eating them. You could see them on the 4-hour time frame. We're just eating these things over here. You're flipping the supply zone into demand, and then the next target becomes that next supply zone or that next, key horizontal resistance there. Okay, in this case, I have a supply zone marked out 532.10 to 533.82. Where did sellers step in over here on Thursday? They stepped in that supply zone, and then on Friday, when we ticked on up towards 532.10, we also got slammed down. So I'm just going to say we very clearly do have supply sitting here overhead. We have sell orders sitting at 532.10 to 533.82. Once we get above 533.82, we will have nothing until all-time highs. Did you hear what I said? We will have nothing until all-time highs. You want to see how the weekly candle closed out over here? Again, same thing with SPY. You had this range. You have 521.95 being respected. Well, guess what? That's the level we were paying attention to. And as of this day right here, we were looking for you to march up to this next supply zone and then probably hit 532.10 to 533.82. What happened? Literally a 1, a 2, a 3 days later, you did end up getting those targets, up there, 532.10 to 533.82. All right, so on the upside for QQQ, you're watching 532.10, 533.82. Above there, you have nothing until 540.81, current all-time high. On the downside, we're watching 527.92, 525.97. Ideally, that holds, and that's flipped into demand. As you see, we're kind of, we pull back under it. Boom, false breakdown. We reclaimed it. So if we do pull back into it, I'm expecting there to be buy orders down there. But with how things are looking, I don't know if we are going to be retesting it right away. Okay, so that is QQQ. Those are your upside levels on SPY and QQQ. Now let's take a look at the VIX. Okay, so the VIX did end up coming down, breaking underneath 1715. You did end up just sweeping the low there on Thursday after, again, Trump and Elon had their falling out there. It spooked the market. I could I could see why. It's just uncertainty. The president's all over the place. I'm going to be quite honest. I would rather not have it. I voted for the guy. I would rather not have that going on. The market would rather not have that going on. And, I do think the market is kind of at a point where it does want to push all-time highs. It's kind of like it's saying, okay, we've had enough of this crap. I don't really care what the guy's going to say anymore. We're going to do our own thing because every little dip that the guy causes is just getting bought up. All right, but yeah, the guy's all over the place. It's okay, guys. We will continue killing this market over here on this channel. Again, it's all you need. All you need for absolutely no cost to you. I will give you trade ideas. I give you your levels there on SPY/QQ. I give you your Mag 7 stocks consistently here on this channel. Again, no paywall, all free. All right. If you want, a more detailed, a more hands-on approach, if you want to come live stream, I'll be live streaming every day. If you want to come trade with me in real time every morning, all right, that link will be down below. We've been killing it. All right. But yeah, VIX guys, you did end up, hitting our target over here on Thursday. You just kind of swept and then popped right back up. We got a little cautious there. I took off risk. I wish I didn't because the next day everything rocketed on me. Okay. I just knew I had to get on a flight and I really, we don't have service up there in the sky. So, yeah, I didn't really want to be screwed if the thing decided to start rocketing over here on the VIX and, everything started dumping. Obviously, that was not the case. But I'm just gonna say, guys, we got some rippers ready to go next week. Okay. But yeah, VIX did end up taking out this 1715 low. I'm just gonna say the 4-hour RSI, it is getting down into oversold territory. This is where a lot of the times we will start seeing the bounces. And if you don't bounce around here, you're gonna come down into actual oversold territory at 30, and then you're probably going to get the bounce there. So I'm just going to put that alert right there. So I will be notified in real time. All right, now let's just take a look at how the other indices are looking, guys. And this is, I'll just give you a little trade idea over here. I gave it to you guys before it actually happened. I told you guys on this day right here, I did think IWM was going to start making its move. And if it got above 210.13, I think we probably have a straight shot up here to 214, then 216, which is at that 200 DMA. You break above 210, this 200 DMA at 216 is going to act as a, as a magnet there. I really hope my audio is good because I think we're putting out some really quality information here in this video, and I want it to be delivered in a in a clean manner. I'm gonna try and keep this video as quick as possible because I really don't know if the audio is all that great right now. I'm trying to this mic, I need to talk loud in order for it to pick it up. So yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it quick, but you guys see what I'm seeing. It's a small cap summer over here, boys. This thing is likely going a lot higher, and I don't think it's going to stop here at the 200 DMA. You see the weekly cloud just start flipping over there, guys. Well, a lot of times when we see this happen, you see this was right here at the 200. You did get rejected here for, 2 weeks, but then you shot right above it. Right over here, the weekly cloud ended up flipping from bearish to bullish. What happened over here? You hit it with the break and retest off your weekly 21 and your 200 DMA, and you hit the jets. I think we're probably going to have a similar scenario over here, and I think if you want, a real easy trade for you to just ride over the next few weeks, I think it's going to be here in IWM. I personally like the July calls. All right, I think July calls are going to be your safest bet. All right, June calls, obviously they're going to be moving more, but guys, we only have like 2 weeks left on that expiration, 620, the monthly OPEX. So yeah, I personally would just go with the calls that have 40 something days on them. You might as well go with something with more than double the time there. It's you're gonna have a better time. Okay. So that's IWM, guys. I do think we're going to continue higher. The levels you're watching is 213.97, 216, 217.37. And once you're above here, guys, I'm not calling a price discovery mode, but you do have the golden pocket that's going to be coming into play. All right. So like, expect sellers somewhere in this zone. But I do think you're probably going to go something like that, maybe pull back, and you probably do end up getting buyers stepping over there. But we don't got to talk about that right now. We're talking about the move right now. You just got this fresh downtrend break. You just got the fresh breakout above 210.13 on the daily and weekly time frame. It looks immaculate. It looks like it's about to have another gapper and goer. All right. I'm not sure if this thing's going to keep gapping and going up until 216, 200 DMA over here, but I'll tell you that's my target, and that's where I'm going to start taking these bad boys off. Well, 214 to 216. All right. Now, on top of that, you want to see how DIA closed? All right. It's really also not that bad. You can see here on the weekly chart. Oh, again, you're above the 200 DMA. You're now flipping the weekly cloud here, 21 EMA. is, the 5 EMA is crossing above the 21 EMA. That's what flips it, green from red. All right. And we could see what happens when this, usually becomes the case. You end up having quite a bit more, upside over here. And even if it is going to pull back, it is likely just going to form a higher low and then continue going. Okay. Over here, you flipped it on this week right here, and then boom, you had this week, you had these 3 to 4 weeks right there where you just kept going up. I'm not saying that's about to happen, but I'm telling you guys, everything's aligning to where we probably are going to have a good next 1 to 3 weeks over here on the indices. And I'm going to tell you, Mag 7 stocks are set up in the same exact manner. All right, so let's start off with Amazon. All right, so Amazon is my favorite Mag 7 stock right now. I put this on your radar. I told you guys this was the next one to go. First of all, I gave you Meta. All right, I gave you Meta literally right here when we broke 641.86, and then we started hitting it with the break and retest, okay? And then I was like, oh, we really got to pay attention to this thing. And then we marked out this level right there. We said break above 653.32, probably getting a straight shot to 662.67. Get above there, 675.25 was in play. We went straight above there to 688.65. Level to level, again, guys, if you aren't someone who can put on these levels yourself that are just continuously getting the perfect reaction, okay? You see how you stall down this day right there. You could take your profits right there into a key level. Well, on this impulsive move, you could have taken your profits right into a key level. All right, you take some on the breaker, you take it on that next key level. All right, if you are someone who can't do that right now, okay, I'm going to show you how to do it in real time, but for the time being, I want you to make money. I want you to be doing it. I want you to be killing it. All right, so I want you to steal my levels. Put these on your chart. I will give you what you need Monday through Thursday, and then on the weekly update, you have everything you need to make money for the following week. You got the levels that are going to be respected. You have the trade ideas. It's all in these YouTube videos. Just remember to hit the subscribe button and preferably hit that notification bell just so you guaranteed, even if you're not going to watch it right away, just so you guaranteed know when we're putting this out so you can get your secret sauce here, okay? So Meta, we'll just, jump forward on this guy. Above 702.81, we're talking 725.01 and then 740.91 on the downside, guys. I do think we're probably going to pull back a bit here, but you have a crazy weekly candle going on. It reminds me of what we had over here. It's either going to be something like this that prints like that and then you pull back, something like this where you have an intermediate week, all right, just consolidation, digesting that move, and then you continue higher to all-time highs the next week, or you're going to do one of these where you get this little gap down or a little pullback to start off the week, and then you continue through the highs by the end of the week there. So if we are to see that pullback, I'm personally going to be watching right over here. Okay, so 675.25 to 662.67. Why do I say 662.67? Well, this was the most recent breakout level right over there. Okay, so if you do get a deeper pullback here, so everything's still intact. Your 21 EMA is just going to be drifting higher up here. If this happens, the next 2 trading sessions by Tuesday, this 21 EMA is going to be right here. The trend is still fully intact here. It is buy the dip opportunity until proven otherwise. All right, so if we do pull back, I'm watching underneath 688.65. We have 675.25 and then 662.67. On the upside, like I said, above 702.81, you have 725.01 and then 740.91. All right, so that was Meta. We're going to come over here back to Amazon. All right, and this is the stock that, I just gave you down here. I was saying it's getting ready to go. And as we see, it went. Okay, it went. And again, I wish I wasn't someone who took off the risk there, Thursday into Friday, because of course I had this trip I had to go on, and I knew I couldn't trade on the plane or anything, so I didn't want to get caught with my pants down. I really just didn't want to, let that be the case over here. We did pull some decent profits over here on Amazon before we took this one off, but I'm just going to say I do think this is going higher the following week, next week. Okay. If you pull back, we're watching 2A81. All right. And, we're going to expect buyers between 206.62 and 2A81. I'm not saying it happens, but I am going to be anticipating that is where they would step in. Okay. And then on the upside, we have the supply zone 214.84 to 216.20. Above 216.20, we're going to get a straight shot up to 220, 219.97 on deck. Above there, you have 225.86 to 228.06. Look at the weekly candle. Look at what happened over here. You got real tight against the 200 DMA over here. I told you, you held it 5 times. You got a 1, you got a 2, you have a 3, you have a 4, you have a 5, and then you rocketed up there, okay? Yeah, very likely going to continue pushing over here. If you get a pullback, it's a clear as day buying opportunity, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get one of these guys over here and you hit it with that second week continuation move. Like, you have the same consolidation set up like right over here, started moving. All right, next week was also a big week. Okay, most of the time when you get this first initial move, you'll get that fall through week on the second week. So, that's what I'm going to be watching for. There's a trade idea for you if you'd like. That's the Mag 7 stock of my choice right now. All right. But aside from that, I'm going to say over here, GOOG. All right. Google is one that I think is looking absolutely immaculate. You reclaim the 200 DMA. It wants to move up, guys. If it breaks above 176.90, we're talking 183.34. That's right where that 0.618 fib is from the whole move down, guys. If you don't have the golden pocket in your tool belt yet, I will show you throughout these videos. If you just pay attention, all right, I will show you how to use it in real time. All right. Well, on the daily and weekly chart. Okay, if you want to see it in real time, you're going to come watch the live streams, or you're going to sit in the live streams with me and you're going to see me execute on it real time. And you can also just ask me questions again in real time. I will help. All right. And I will say I will stand behind my product there, behind our community. It is a big help. I charge $80 a month. It is worth much, 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 much more than $80 a month. There's nobody else. I'm just saying, there's nobody else who's going to give you content like this for free on YouTube. And then if you want to, again, just learn in real time there, make money as you're going over there, I will show you how it's done every single day, every week. Honestly, we've been averaging like 2 to 4 bangers a week. We're talking 100 to 200 percenters. But yeah, we're going to say 50 to 100%. I consistently bring in, 2 to 4 swing trades a week like that. All right, so if that sounds good to you, that link will be down below. But again, I do my best to provide, just everything anybody needs to make money. I really am here to just help people make money. I'm here to grow on YouTube. Okay, so please, like, if you are finding the value, which I know if you're an actual trader, you're finding the freaking value. Even if you're not a profitable trader, you're learning. Okay, but I'm telling you, if you are a trader, I know you're finding the value in this video. I know it, buddy. I know it. So just remember to leave a like on the YouTube video here. I'll try and scratch your back as much as I freaking can every video. Just please remember to scratch my back just once a video. That's all I ask, that's going to be done through the like button. That's all I ask. But yeah, Google over here, guys. You can see what happened on the weekly chart. You engulfed the past week's price action over there. You have this like 2 week kind of range going on. You have a break and retest off of 168.24, and you're popping right back up. You got a daily close above the 200 again. All right, you failed. You failed. Third time's the charm. Okay, above 176.90, we're talking 183.34. All right, now Tesla, guys, this is a controversial one over here, guys. I would say it's not worth watching it right now. I would say, it's just really not worth watching over here. I don't know how the company's really going to be performing if they take away all of their government subsidies and contracts. I just don't think it's, specifically the subsidies. I just don't think it's going to be good. The stock, yeah, investors definitely didn't like that going on, and Elon's kind of just battling the man. So yeah, I would not have this on your radar. I would just leave it alone. I just pointed out so much better, so many much better setups over here that you can focus on to bring in that 50 to 100% gain. Honestly, over the next week, you don't need to focus on Tesla where you just need this drastic move to even make money. You don't need it, either side. You don't need it. You have the Robotaxi event coming up June 12th. I'm thinking honestly it's going to be a buy the news event here if you stay in this area going into it. But yeah, we'll approach that when it comes up. I don't think it's something that we're it's not worth focusing on right now. So I'm just not gonna focus on it. All right, but that's Tesla. Coming over here to Apple, guys. It's another one I just wouldn't focus on until it tells you it wants to really make a move, and that's going to be above 209.48. You break above 209.48, we're probably talking a straight shot up to 214.56. If you take out that level, the weekly chart looks great. All right, you're above the weekly 21. You are actually starting to turn around. And at that point, I think we can start a trending move back up to the 200 DMA over here, which is around 225.70. It really all starts at 209.48. So you want to get above there, and then I would start trading it long up to 214.56. Until then, you could tell it's been a crapshoot over here just in this big old range. But if you do get the range breakout, I'll just point out this is a $20 range. So If you're gonna get a measure move, this is $11 right there. Measure move would bring you all the way to 235. But yeah, I'd definitely just be watching for 225.70. All right, and then the last one over here, well, we got two more, all right, but NVIDIA is kind of a semiconductor as well. But, Microsoft, this is what, I told you to come into all-time highs over here. Well, guess what? We made new all-time highs. This is one I would just personally be waiting on a pullback. I do think it's going higher up to 500 bucks, but, it's not really a setup that I think is worth taking. Well, there's no setup. It's not a stock I think is worth trading right now to the long side or the downside. I would say just wait on the dip. If it comes, it's a buy the dip opportunity. All right, and then lastly, we have NVIDIA over here. I'm just going to go over a few trade ideas going into next week. Above 143.44, guys, we're talking 148.97, then all-time highs at 153.13. On the downside, we have 139.62. If that can't hold, we're talking 137.40 and then 135.40. All right, guys, my computer shut off during that. This is the first time recording on a laptop, but we're back. We're just going to go over the trade ideas now. I got 5 to 10 trade ideas going to next week, and I'm just going to say all of these are hot setups. Some are going to be greater than others. I'm gonna rank them. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the best one first, okay? Or the best ones, I should say. PayPal. All right, bullish engulfing candlestick over here. You engulf 3 weeks of range over here. All it needs is a break above 74.15, and you are going to have a straight shot up to 76.46. That's going to be around that 200 DMA. I'm just going to say I think you're coming up here to 79 bucks. That's going to be at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level from that whole move down there. There you go. All right. But yeah, it's looking at immaculate there on the weekly time frame, and on the daily, we could just see it's grinding higher after this clean, trend line break over there. All it needs to do is break above 74.15. It's going to go to the 200 DMA. Next one is going to be Uber over here, guys. Breaking retest off of a previous all-time high, 81.86. Picture perfect break and retest. The low of the week was 81.86. You guys can literally just look right up here. All right, it says 81.86. Well, the high over here was again 81.86. So perfect break and retest off of there. I am anticipating this thing is going to push back up to all-time highs over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. So that is something for you to keep on your radar. All right. Outside of that, we're talking Reddit. All right, Reddit over here on the daily time frame, we can see this is a big base that's going on here, guys. It's been building out for quite some time. It's been in this range for about 3 months. All right, it's coming into the 200 DMA. If we can see a daily close above 127.27, I think it is going to start moving up here to 142 and then 158.49. You could see that very clear over here on the weekly time frame. Get above this area, you're above the 200. You're above, the top of the range here. You're also going to be above the weekly 21 EMA. Good things are going to happen once you get above this spot, 127.27. All right, Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is one that I said, hey, it's not the best thing to really be trading right now. Even if it is going to be getting the best case scenario, it's probably just going to be, doing one of these things. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not happening. That's not what it's telling us it wants to do right now. Again, Elon and Trump had their falling out on Thursday there into Friday, and yeah, right. Trump decided to threaten Elon's government contracts with both of his companies, SpaceX and Tesla. There, well, where are those government contracts going to go? Well, the other space stocks are going to get hyped up. All right, or space stocks in general, they are going to get hyped up. That's Rocket Lab, guys. I think it's probably going to take out 3078. Above 3078, we're talking 3334. All right, next one is going to be ASTS, guys. ASTS was an absolute monster on the week over here, and I am anticipating a second week, that second week continuation style move here. Got that clean downtrend break there, but I'm just going to show you how it looks on the daily time frame, guys. All right, dips into 29.59 are buying opportunities. I don't think we are going to test 29.59 again, though. As we see, we did end up, coming back down to the level, popping right back up. You closed at the highs, and now the weekly candle looks like this. I think this is going higher next week. This is something for you to keep on your radar. I think all-time highs are probably coming with how this is set up. All right, I'm not saying you're going through another one of these rippers over here, but I'm telling you, it's a massive base if you could break out from this thing. And once it does do that, oh, we're talking like 50 bucks. Okay. So that is Rocket Lab and ASTS for you. All right. Now I'm going to talk about Bitcoin over here, guys. You did start getting buyers over the weekend over here. I am well, it's Friday into the weekend. It's currently Saturday over here. I'm just going to say above 105.7K, you're probably going to start moving back up to 109.3 to 112K. You have this bull flag kind of look going on here. If you just take the equivalent of that trend line, duplicate it there, you have a bull flag. If you can break above 105.7K, you will have a breakout from that bull flag, and you probably are going to continue pushing. I'm not saying you have a straight move up here. I'm really not. I don't know how this weekly candle is going to close, but if it does close like this, I anticipate you're probably going to stay down here for a second week and come into this lower wick. All right, we typically do see that happen once we, print a candle like we have right now, just like right over here, where then next week you do come into that lower wick. Yes, you get bought, but you still do come into the lower wick, which means you will have a better opportunity there on the tickers I'm about to mention. MSTR. I'm not going to say this is the setup that I want to point your attention to. It's just one of them, okay? But you are pulling back into the weekly 21 EMA. This is a big breakout level right here, 356.11. Found buyers 2 weeks ago off of that, okay? 2 days in a row, right? You were just holding that. You didn't come right down to it, but you found buyers around it. So we do know demand is sitting right down there. And then boom, that second week, now you are also consolidating in this area. Okay, so that's MSTR, but the real setup I want to point your attention to is here on Coin. All right, Coinbase, it's coming back. It retested 240.77. The low of the week was 240.08. Well, guess what? You shot right back up there, and now you're just looking like you have a big old range here. Well, you found buyers off the 21 EMA on the daily time frame twice in a row, guys. Okay, 2 times in a row that was tested. You found the buyers. You also found buyers right there off of 240.77, two times in a row. All right, we know that's a big spot over here. If we can push through 264.30, break out of this little range we got going on here, I am anticipating a move above 277.01, and then we're probably going to come up to 290 to 300. All right, so that's coin. And as far as Bitcoin goes, this is where I would be playing that. I would not be touching MSTR. It's just something, it will be moving with Bitcoin, but coin is where the setup that I'm seeing and I'm putting on your radar is. All right, next one we're talking is Rivian. Okay, Rivian is pulling back the weekly 21. I'm personally not going to be touching this one. I told you I'd tell you which are the good setups. I'm all over PayPal right now. I'm good with Uber. All right. Hims is one, I actually cut the other day and it started moving back up again. I was on a plane on Friday. I didn't really get to, trade exactly how I would have liked Thursday into Friday just because I didn't want to take on the risk. I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be able to buy or sell anything on Friday. So I just, I didn't want to. And I tried doing my best to take off, the riskier positions and letting some of these July positions ride. HIMS is one I deemed riskier over here, but I'm just going to say it looks like you're about to be breaking out. If you can get above 58, well, we're just going to mark out this high over here, 59.29. If you can break above 59.29, I am anticipating a move back up to 63.20 and then 65.89. And then from there, all-time highs is incoming. You're probably going 80 to 100 bucks. All right. I know you look pretty funky over here on the weekly time frame, but at the end of the day, this is just consolidation. And unless they do break it down from here, yeah, it looks good. Okay, either buyers are going to hold this 21 EMA or they're not. Okay, you're finding buyers off 52.72. You're just holding it, all this whole time, 3 weeks here, guys. Well, guess what? You're also finding buyers off the 21, off the 21, off the 21, off the 21, 3 days in a row here. It's very clearly an area of interest here, and buyers want to defend it. Okay, so if you can break up from this little range where you had this false breakout, 56.52. I think you're probably going to push 59.29, and above there, you could push 63.20 and then 65.89. All right. Next one is going to be Bros over here, guys. I know you had a little fake out move there on Thursday, came right back down, but I am anticipating this thing is probably going to steadily be moving up here, or it's going to hit it with some impulsive moves to the upside, and we're going to test that 80.62 level. Still keeping it on my radar, still in it, still playing it over here. Not going to say it's the cleanest move considering what happened there on Thursday, but it is still on our radar, and we're still anticipating that move is going to come. All right. Last one over here is going to be just be CAR. All right, CAR. It's when I was actually watching over here on Thursday, and again, I just missed Friday's session, unfortunately, guys. All right. But over here, I don't got to go on plane until 6:20, and then I get to, spend a whole nother day in the airport and on a plane for 10 hours. So, well, it was like 9.5. So that's fun. That is fun. But yeah, over here, guys, it looks like you're about to break out above 124.37, and yeah, you're gonna be in, I know it's not price discovery mode, all right, but you're gonna have nothing until right here, right? 32.25, and then above there, we're going to call it price discovery mode, okay? Above there, we're talking you're going to go psychological level, 140, 150. But you guys can see what I see over here on the weekly time frame. You guys can see what we see on the daily time frame. You pulled back, reverted to the mean, and now you're about to break up. Um, yeah, even if it has like a little breakout and then pulls back, like you're going to be anticipating buyers off this 124.37 level before just heading up higher to 132.25. All right, so put it on your radar. That is one I am also paying attention to. Honestly, the hottest setup that I'm going to point your attention to is just going to be PayPal over here. Like I was saying in the beginning, bullish engulfing candlestick. It engulfed the last 3 weeks of price action. Very clean move up here, 76.65. And at that point, guys, June calls, they do go 100% on a $3 move. So that is something that I am anticipating is probably going to be happening this week. But if it does give you a pullback, a little inside week next week, it's probably going to be bought up the following week up to here, 76.46. I like June and I like July calls. Specifically, July are the safer ones, of course. All right, guys. And then top of that, IWM. You want, an index to ride up. I think we're going to be starting a big move over here in IWM, and it could be a big winner for us, okay, over the coming weeks. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know my audio is definitely a little bit different than how it normally sounds. I'm going to go walk around and see if I can find where to find like an actual microphone. I know they don't have Walmarts or anything like that here. Well, I don't think they do. But I am going to do my best to find a mic that doesn't sound like this because I do know it doesn't sound too good. All right. But nonetheless, the value is the same in these videos. Okay. It just didn't sound as good because the audio. But you guys still have everything you need to make a killing here in the market in the coming week. All right. I'm anticipating you guys kill it. You guys got all the sauce. You got everything you need to kill it. All right, now it is just up to you to execute. If you would like to come trade with me, that link will be down below. Even though I'm in Greece, I will still be live streaming the open 1 to 2 hours guaranteed a day, and then I will, do my best to keep you updated throughout the day. I'm just in a different time zone for the time being, but we're gonna do our best to kill it over here. We've been killing it, back home. We're gonna do our best to kill it here, and then damn right when we get back in 2 weeks. Oh, we're hitting the Jets, boys. We're hitting the Jets. All right. We got a hot market and we're looking to take advantage of it. All right. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.